You know that feeling, right? The deadline is creeping closer, your inbox is a disaster, and your boss just dropped another urgent bomb on your desk. Yeah, we have all been there. Workplace stress can feel like it's just part of the job. But what if I told you that not all stress is the enemy? What if learning to tell the difference between good stress and bad stress could be your secret weapon at work? Let's dive in. Look, if you want to understand what makes a company or any group really work, you can't just look at the big picture, at the spreadsheets and the mission statements. Nope, you have to zoom all the way in. It all starts with the individual. Each person's experience, their performance, their well-being, that's the real engine of the whole operation. If the individuals aren't thriving, the organization can't thrive. Simple as that. And this quote right here, it just spells out how high the stakes are. It's like a domino effect. Your performance isn't just about you. It ripples out. It affects your team, which affects your company, which, believe it or not, affects the whole economy. So getting a handle on the things that mess with that performance, like stress, well, it's not just a nice little self-help tip. It's absolutely crucial. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with why people are the absolute core of everything. Then we'll get into this really cool idea of good stress versus bad stress. From there, we'll break down the main framework for telling them apart, challenge versus hindrance. Then comes the twist, how much your own mindset matters, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple plan you can actually use to take control. All right, first up, let's really lock in on why people are the true engine of any organization. I mean, think about it for a second. People aren't just little cogs in some giant machine. They are the machine. They do the work, they come up with the ideas, they talk to each other, they push for things to get better. And what that means is that their mental state, how they're feeling, directly impacts literally everything. A fired up, motivated person, they're going to build amazing things. A burnt out, stressed person, they're going to slow everything down. It really is that direct. Okay, so let's get into the main event. We need to complicate the story we tell ourselves about stress, because it turns out it's not all bad. And that brings us to this awesome concept called eustress. Yeah, eustress. It's basically good stress. You know that little buzz of nervous energy you get right before a big presentation or a job interview? That's eustress. It's not draining you, it's focusing you. It makes you sharp, gets you in the zone, and actually helps you perform better. So naturally, this leads to the million-dollar question, right? If some stress is actually our friend and some is our enemy, how in the world are we supposed to tell them apart when we're in the thick of it? Well, the answer lies in this incredibly useful idea called the challenge hindrance framework. This is the key. Okay, so this framework basically says that all the stressful demands at work fall into two buckets. On one side, you have challenge stressors. Think of this like climbing a steep but awesome mountain. It's hard work, you're going to sweat, but you know that getting to the top is going to feel amazing and you'll be better for it. Then, on the other side, you have hindrance stressors. This is like trying to climb that same mountain, but you're stuck in waist-deep mud. All your effort just leads to more frustration, not progress. So what do these challenge stressors look like in the real world? Well, think about things like a big workload or a tight deadline. They're tough, but they force you to get more efficient, or a really complex project that makes you learn new skills. Even having a lot of responsibility. These things are hard, but they help you level up. And then you have their evil twins, the hindrance stressors. This is the stuff that just gets in the way, like when you have two bosses telling you to do opposite things. That's role conflict. Or when you have no idea what you're even supposed to be doing. That's role ambiguity. Throw in office politics and not having the tools you need, and yeah, this stuff doesn't make you better, it just makes you want to tear your hair out. But here's where it gets really interesting. The type of stressor, that's only part of the equation. The other, massive part, is all about your mindset. It's about how you see it. Let this one sink in for a second. The thing that's causing the stress, that's just the trigger. That's just what's happening out there. How you choose to interpret that, how you react to it, well, that's the other 50% of the story. And it's the part you actually have some control over. This all ties back to a classic psychology concept called framing. You've seen this before. We feel differently about yogurt that's labeled 90% fat-free versus one that's labeled 10% fat. Same yogurt, different frame. And we do the exact same thing with stress. We can frame a tough situation as a scary threat that we need to run away from, or we can frame it as an exciting challenge we can rise to meet. So let me ask you, which camp do you usually fall into? Do you have more of a stress is enhancing mindset, where you deep down believe that you can use stressful energy to get things done? Or if you're being honest, is it more of a stress is debilitating mindset, where your first instinct is to just avoid stress at all costs because you see it as purely negative? And this isn't just some feel-good, positive thinking mumbo-jumbo. This is backed by research. People who cultivate that enhancing mindset literally get better results. They report feeling better psychologically, they actually perform better at their jobs, they're more open to feedback, and they're more creative when problems pop up. Your mindset truly changes the outcome.
Okay, this brings us to the grand finale. Let's turn all this cool theory into something you can actually do to take back control. It all comes down to a simple 3-step process. First, the next time you feel that stress creeping in, just stop and identify what's causing it. Ask yourself, is this a mountain to climb or mud I'm stuck in? Challenge or hindrance? Step 2, appraise your mindset. What's my automatic reaction here? Am I seeing this as a threat or an opportunity? And step 3, the most powerful one, reframe the narrative. This is where you take charge. So instead of I'm so overwhelmed by this project, you can try, this is a huge opportunity to show everyone what I can do. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Even those really frustrating things, those hindrances, can sometimes be reframed if we get creative. Maybe not having enough resources is actually a chance to innovate. Maybe not having a clear role is a chance for you to define it yourself. So, what is one hindrance in your life right now that you could start trying to see as a challenge?